Hi, and welcome to the AWS Ambassador channel. My name is Nestor Gandara, and I get to support our customers leveraging AWS technology to build their businesses in the cloud. Each episode, I will introduce you to a new AWS Ambassador to know a little bit more about them and how they help our community and their company and customers. So let's get started. Today, I'm really excited to introduce Scott Weber, Managing Director at PWC. Hi, Scott. How are you, man?
Hey, Nestor. Great to talk to you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, you're more than welcome always. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, happy to. So, believe it or not, my journey with AWS started all the way back in 2007 when I got introduced to it as part of Xerox Research at the time. When, it was all three services. We had SQS, S3, and EC2 with ephemeral disks of all things, right? In
Yeah,
2008, I launched my first production workload on AWS, and the rest, as they say, is history. It was a lamp stack running on a single EC2 instance, and always made sure that you didn't hit the stop button and lose everything on your disks. Through the years, I was able to get deeper into AWS in 2014, and I've seen AWS grow from those three services in the early days to the whole ecosystem that it is today. And it's been pretty cool to see that grow.
it's amazing how quickly things have changed and are changing while we talk, right? And Scott, could you give us some details about what does your day as an AWS ambassador looks like?
Sure. So my typical day is divided into a couple buckets. So, it's divided between working with our clients and customers, and then working with internal people at PwC. As an ambassador, I'm looked to as a subject matter specialist around AWS inside of our organization. I'm asked to meet with clients to discuss the art of the possible with AWS or to troubleshoot areas that they're facing and the challenges they are facing in their adoption of AWS. I talk to customers about all aspects of AWS from clients very early into their, testing things out, trying to create their landing zones, all the way through to customers that are modernizing or completely rewriting applications natively into AWS. I tend to focus on the intersection though of the needs of the business and the needs of, and the technology and how the technology can impact the business. Because we have to make sure that we are providing value to the business as a whole. All of us are technologists, and bringing technology to the table just to bring technology to the table isn't enough. It should lead to improved business outcomes. On the internal side, I advocate for our AWS practice to the rest of PwC in the US. I help our internal teams understand the impact that AWS can have in their clients' businesses. I also take part in internal training to help people prepare for AWS certifications, to get up to speed on the different services from AWS. I lead our L&D activity, and we'll put on things like immersion days to help our customer or help our internal teams as well.
That's great. Just to recall, the AWS certifications are pretty important to validate the cloud expertise. So thanks for keeping the bar high. And talking about the program, you have been at the program for more than 4 years, if I'm not wrong. So you are really a program veteran. But what does the program brings to you?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to join the program back in March of 2019 when I think globally we were 120 people. Being part of the program brings a few things though to me. First, there is the recognition by AWS of my knowledge and capabilities within the platform. And that's really important. I know in March of 2019, I didn't even know what the program was. It was really nascent. It had really just gotten off the ground. The second thing that it's done is the ambassador program gives me a voice in producing content around AWS and how it helps customers drive innovation into their solutions, right? And third is the access to the community of the other ambassadors that are passionate about AWS when we're able to get together and talk about, what we're doing to help our customers.
What do you enjoy the most about the program?
Yes, there's a couple things there. I really enjoy the meetups when we're able to talk about the innovations that are coming from AWS and how we are using them to help our customers, whether they're the virtual meetups or the Global Ambassador Summit or meetups at reInvent. I also, though, really appreciate the access that we're able to get as being part of the program to the internal teams at AWS that will come and talk to us about where the innovation is going around specific services. And at times, the product teams have even approached the ambassadors as early to get them to be early adopters into new services or pulled us for input for improvements to existing services. So having that ability to see what's coming and then to also provide input back into those service teams is huge for me.
All right. And changing a bit the topic, I see that PWC has several active AWS ambassadors. That's great achievement, by the way. But how you are promoting the program internally at the company?
Yeah. So we look at the ambassador program as a way to recognize our deep AWS technologists worldwide. We currently have 6 ambassadors in the US. We have 7 in India, 2 in our China firm, and 2 more are in the works. One is going to be in Canada and one is going to be in the UK. The ambassador program is really important to us because we use the ambassadors to help establish trust with our clients that we truly have a deep understanding of AWS and we know how to leverage the various AWS services to help solve their problems. Our ambassadors are sought out to meet with client and be leads on client projects because of that deep level of knowledge and the trust that they end up building with our customers.
That's fantastic. And do you have any advice for future AWS ambassador candidates that can have some questions about the program or yeah, any kind of advice or recommendation?
Yeah, definitely. So I say bring your depth of skill, but be willing to share. As an ambassador, we're expected to have a deep knowledge level on AWS and to be passionate about how to use AWS to help our customers. You also have to be willing to share about the things that you have learned through public blogs, videos, and other forms that you have to produce to stay in the program. When we have meetups, share your experiences with AWS service teams and others that are part of the community so that we can drive new features into the various tools and so that we can co-develop. So I think, that idea of sharing and being part of the community is really important for a future ambassador.
Yeah, I totally agree with that comment. My last question, okay, is a common question that I used to do. What is your favorite AWS service and why?
I really like this question and I thought about it for a while. And for me it's EC2. Yeah, it's one of the oldest services, but if you think about it, it's the basis of almost everything else that we're doing with our customers in AWS. Whether you're working
It
on
is.
containers, Lambda, Fargate, databases, or SageMaker with AI and ML projects, EC2 underpins all of that, right? We also continue to see innovations with Nitro and Graviton processors on EC2. So an EC2 is one of the first services, is underpinning all of these various services that we use. And I would argue was probably the service that really started the cloud snowball rolling 17 years ago. Because once people could understand how to put a VM out there in the cloud and get their application up and running, that's I think really started to hook people. I know it hooked me.
Yeah, no, 100% is the core. All right, Scott. I really enjoyed this opportunity to talk with you. Now I think the people can know you better and know a little bit more the program and the role of an AWS ambassador. So thanks a lot for the conversation and see you soon in the next event.
Yep. Thanks, Nestor. This was a great experience.
Thank you.